They get it into Vance. He brings it out to the top of the key, onto the corner to Beadle. He'll drive. Nowhere to go. Throws up a shot. No good, but he'll draw the foul on Jenkins again. So 2 quick ones on Jarvis Jenkins here in the first 30 seconds of the second period. Beadle at the foul line. 2 shots coming his way. First up and good. 17-10. Glad you could join us here at Camel Brennan Gymnasium as we just witnessed a big upset in the first game as Lebanon beats Wilson Central 57-47. The boys now down by 7 here in the second quarter. Beadle's second shot's up. Off the front iron, no good. Rebounded by Manning. His shot's up and good. Great rebound by Justin Manning as he jumps right on the ball as Lebanon gets in their full court press. They get it over to Stewart. He gets across the timeline. Gets it over to Ald at the top of the key. He swings it over to Brooks. He stops his dribble back over to Stewart, and they'll restart their offense. Lebanon in a man-to-man defense. They get it over to Jenkins. His shot's off the backboard, no good. They'll call a foul. Excuse me, that was McMurray. Picks up just his first foul. Lebanon with a chance to cut into this lead as they're down 5 points here in the second quarter. Inbounds to Smith. He'll walk across the timeline. Over to Beadle on the left shoulder. Down in the corner to Hutto. Thought about the 3. Passes it up. Gets it back to Smith. On the left elbow. Cross-court pass into the corner to Beadle. Down low to Manning. His shot off the backboard and good. Justin Manning with 4 quick points for Lebanon as Central inbounds. Works across the half-court line. Gets it over to Ald. Into the corner to Brooks. A 3 by Stewart off the mark, no good, and rebounded by Manning, and he outlets to Hutto. The big man running the court, gets a strip from behind. Manning comes up with the rebound. His shot's up and good. Justin Manning, 6 quick points for the junior, and Coach Bond wants to talk about it. Great spurt for Lebanon, 1 point down, 17-16, 6.5 minutes left to go in the second. We'll be right back after a 30-second timeout. Welcome back to Camel Brennan Gymnasium as Central inbounds right in front of their own bench. They get it in quick. Over to Jenkins, and he gets an easy layup. Lebanon inbounds to Smith. He gets it across the timeline. Central switching over to a man-to-man defense. Back up top to Smith. Cross-court pass to Hutto in the corner. Looks for Manning down low. Nothing there. A cross-court pass to Vance, and he dribbles off his own foot and out of bounds. Turnover right back to Wilson Central. 19-16 here. 6 minutes left to go. Lebanon puts on a full court press to press. Full court press, excuse me. Into the corner. Beadle guards. Comes up with the steal. Falls to the ground. And they're going to call a foul on McMurray. That'll be his second. The 190-pound, 6'5" senior for Central, one of their go-to guys, going to have to see the bench for a little bit. Checking into the game for him is going to be Zane Van Landingham. Wouldn't you know it, there's 2, one on the girls' team and the guys' team. And now they're going to call a foul on Robert Crudup as he drug the pivot foot. Central set to inbounds here on the sideline. Get it into Stewart. Vance on him. Full court man-to-man defense by Lebanon. They get across the half-court line. They'll set up their offense. Hand off to Brooks. Back over to Ald. Into the corner to Stewart. Back up top to Brooks. He'll drive baseline. Nothing there. Cut off. Gets it back up to Stewart. He fakes the 3. Into the corner to Ald. Cross-court pass. 15-footer off the mark. No good. Rebounded by Central. And they'll call an offensive foul on Central. Lebanon will walk to the other end and shoot a 1-and-1 as they are already in the bonus. It's good news for Lebanon. For every foul here on out, they'll get at least 1 free throw shot. Ryan Beadle steps to the line. Shots up. And good. He'll have another one. Your 5 on the floor for Lebanon is Alex Hutto, Robert Crudup, Ryan Beadle, Justin Manning, and Phillip Vance. Shots up, off the mark, rebounded by Central. Jenkins comes down with it. Long pass. Crudup intercepts it. Picked right back up by Ald. He'll bring it out, go into the corner. Back out to Brooks. He'll fake the 3, get it back up to Stewart. And I believe they're going to call an off-the-ball foul here on Ryan Beadle. as he was down low defending the block and got a shove call on him. Central sets inbounds under their own basket. Lebanon in a 2-3 zone. They get it up top to Van Lanningham, back across to Stewart. He'll set up the offense. Lebanon now in a 2-3 zone. Wilson Central picks a different offense, gets it across to Ald, skip pass, back over to Ald, back up to Stewart, back to Ald, trying to get it down low, back to Stewart at the top of the key, guarded heavily by Crudup. Over in the corner to Brooks, back up to Stewart, fakes a three over to Ald. Stewart at the top of the key, drives the right lane, 15-footers up, air ball, and it'll go to Lebanon. Stewart threw up an air ball on that one, and the Lebanon faithful going to let them know about that. Philip Vance checks out of the game as Xavier Smith comes back in. Central stepping back in maybe a man-to-man defense, possibly a 3-2. Looks like it's going to be a 3-2 defense. Smith, the top of the key, fakes the three, thought about driving, gets it over in the corner to Alex Hutto, right outside the three-point arc, back over to Smith on the left wing. Lebanon works around the horn, gets it over to Beadle, back to Smith. Smith crossover dribble, gets into the paint, all the way to the backboard. Layups up, no good. Stewart gets across the timeline. Over to Brooks, his layup's up and good. 21-17, just over 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Crudup drives the baseline, a little out of control. Shots up, no good. Tips it out. Beadle almost recovered it. They get it to Stewart. Over to Brooks. He drives, and no good. And they're going to get Smith for a foul and send Brooks to the line. 21-17 here. Just under 4 minutes left to go before halftime at Campbell Brennan Gymnasium as Brooks set to shoot one of two free throws. First one's up and good. 23-17. Casey Nunley set to check back in along with Brent Morris. Five on the floor, Xavier Smith, Brent Morris, Casey Nunley, Robert Crudup, and Ryan Beadle. Second shot's up and good by Brooks. Lebanon inbounds, get it into Smith. 3-4 court defense by Central, get it across to Beadle. He tries to pass over the timeline, intercepted by Ald. His layup's up, no good, and they'll call a block on Beadle. So Lebanon having problems getting it across the half-court line as Ald will step to the line. Your five on the floor for Wilson Central: Austin Ald, Preston Jenkins, Zane Van Lanningham, Kelton Stewart, and Juwan Brooks. Ald's first free throw's up and good. Philip Vance comes back into the game as Beadle might have hurt his wrist a little bit on that blocking charge, or blocking call. Ald, second free throws in the air. And good. Bounced around the rim and fell in. Lebanon inbounds to Smith. He'll walk it across the timeline. He gets it over to Crudup. Back over to Smith, top of the key. To the left wing to Crudup. Back to Xavier. He'll cross over, get in the paint. Great move. Little floaters up and good. His signature shot, we've seen it 100 times this year as he gets in the paint and gets an easy two. Wilson Central over the line in a hurry. They get it down to Van Lanningham, and his shot's up and good. A little 15-footer by Van Lanningham makes the score 27-19. Central's lead. Smith across the timeline, loses the ball, ends up in Stewart's hands. He gets it across the half-court line, over to Ald. His layup up, no good. Crudup comes flying out of nowhere to get the rebound, and then Ald commits the foul. Robert Crudup came flying out of nowhere to grab that rebound and comes up with the foul. Austin Ald picks up his first foul of the game as Robert Crudup steps to the line to shoot two free throws. 27-19, just over 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter at Campbell Brennan Gymnasium. First free throws in the air, and good. Chance to cut this lead down to 6 for Robert Crudup, the big senior, here honored in between games. Shined on the court and on the gridiron as his second free throw is up and good. They inbounds the ball to Ald. He'll walk across the half-court line. He'll get it over to Brooks. Brooks looks to get it back to Stewart, top of the key. They'll set up their offense. Lebanon in a man-to-man defense. Smith playing tough on Stewart. Stewart drives the lane, 15-footer, no good, air ball. And they'll say last touch by Central. Philip Vance will inbounds the ball. Central with a 6-point lead. Lebanon faithful really letting Stewart hear it here at Campbell Brennan Gymnasium. Over to Vance. He'll skip it across to Crudup. He thought about the three. Tries to go inside to Nunley. Passes deflected over to Brooks. He drives in for the layup. Steal by Crudup. Back into Smith. They've got numbers. X-Man all the way to the rim and gets fouled. Man, I tell you what, from baseline to baseline with that ball in his hand, there's not really anybody else you want other than Xavier Smith. He gets there in a hurry, and if he doesn't make the layup, he's probably going to get fouled as he does so this time. Another one of those seniors that we've watched for so many years now, as his first foul shot trickles in to cut this lead to 27-22, down to 5 points for Lebanon. Just under 2.5 minutes here in the first half. Second shot in the air, off the back iron, and finds its way in. 27-23, 4-point lead for Central as they inbounds the ball. They get it to Jordan Lee, and he'll walk it across the timeline. Jordan, just a junior, will have another year here in Central. They get it to Auld, back up top to Lee. Cross over to Jenkins. He'll drive baseline, and layups up and good. Smith across the timeline. He'll get it over to Vance. He'll go back to Smith. Smith over to Crudup. Back up top to Smith. He'll drive in the paint. Nowhere to go. Loses the ball. Comes back up with it. Gets it back out to Crudup. And they'll restart their offense. Over to Vance on the left wing. Over to Xavier. Cross-court pass. No good. Picked off by Wilson Central. Shots up and good by Jenkins, or excuse me, up and no good by Jenkins. Brent Morris all the way down to the other end. Pass over to Nunley. He drives in for a 15-footer and gets fouled on the shot. So Lebanon getting opportunities at the line today as they're already in the double bonus. 29-23, just under a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Shots up and good. Nunley, one more of those seniors for Lebanon High School. Their seniors on the squad is Luke Sampson, Brent Morris, Robert Crudup, Xavier Smith, Alex Hutto, and Casey Nunley all being honored here in between games tonight as the second free throw is up and good. Big night for those guys. Glad you could join us tonight as we're here at Campbell Brennan Gymnasium. Rivalry game tonight as Central comes in to play Lebanon. Across the timeline. They get it over to Nick Roy. Gets away with a walk over to Lee. Back over to Roy. They'll get it to Brooks at the top of the key. They'll try to set up the offense. Lebanon in a man-to-man defense. Over to Jenkins on the left wing. He'll walk it back to the top of the key. Passes over to to Lee. Now over to Roy. Back over to Van Lanningham. They'll go back up to the top to Brooks. Over to the left wing to Jenkins. He'll drive baseline. Passes to Lee. He'll miss the layup and tipped out of bounds by Central. Ball will go back to Lebanon. 29-25, 44.7 seconds left here in the first half for Lebanon. They have a chance here to cut this lead down to one with a three-pointer as Smith walks it across the half-court line. Central in a 3-2 zone, possibly maybe a man-to-man defense. They get it over to Crudup. He's guarded closely by Lee. Back up top to Vance, over to Crudup on the right wing. Back to Smith. Lebanon looks to hold the ball just for one last shot here in the first half. Down 4 points. They give it back to Crudup. He'll walk it onto the right wing. Over to Nunley. To Xavier. They wanted a three from Xavier. Can't get it off. Gets it over to Nunley at the free throw line. He drives in. His layup's good. What an athletic move by Casey Nunley. 1 second left. They'll have to chuck it up from half court. Almost goes in by Jordan Lee. What a great effort by Lebanon here in the second quarter as they end the first half down 29-27. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll take a 30-second break and be back at Campbell Brennan Gymnasium.